Alrighty, now I want to toss it over to Lonnie. He's going to introduce us to our next guest. Lonnie.
Thanks, Serena. Our next speaker will be Maeley Tom, and she was the former Chief Administrative Officer of the State Assembly, and she was just no mere bureaucrat. That position actually set how many staff members that each assembly person would get, how many staffers that the committee chairman would get, and they set the salaries and vacations, and a very powerful backdoor office. And after she left that position, she still had a lot of influential friends, and was instrumental in getting gubernatorial appointees and also recruiting Asian Pacific Islander candidates for various offices throughout the land. So to this day, Maeley is still consulted on a lot of political issues. She's sort of the godmother, if you will, of politics in Sacramento. Now we'll hear from Maeley Tom.
I'm here to talk about leadership as it related to me in my role as Chief Administrative Officer of the Assembly, Chief of Staff to the Senate, and working in Washington, D.C. as a Senior Vice President of a national lobbyist firm. All of these roles required me to establish myself with the presence of leadership traits. But I think I'm probably most well known for the fact that I was able to break the glass ceiling, not once, but twice, in the state capitol. And it was during a time where it was dominated by white males. And I am often asked, what helped you climb the ladder and break these glass ceilings? So I wanted to share some of what I feel were valuable attributes that I was able to define for myself. One is the fact that I had to overcome the fact that I was an Asian woman. I had two barriers, being Asian and being woman. And I had to make sure that I didn't allow others to define me. Instead, I had to find a way to define myself. And how I did that was I tried to find a way within the work environment that I was a part of to find a void where I can distinguish myself and make a difference and contribute to the Institute in addition to performing my job responsibilities to the best of my ability. And what I did was, during the era where I was at the state capitol, Asians were invisible. So the void that I was able to fill was the fact that I went out on my own to try to build Asian organizations and to try to build an interest among them to participate in the electoral process and in state government. And as a result, I brought back that information to the Capitol that proved to be of value to the Capitol. So I tell everyone when they start out in their career, try to survey and understand the dynamics of your work environment and see if there's a niche that you can create for yourself to make a difference and to contribute to the institution in addition to your job responsibilities. You want to surround yourself with people who are smart and complement your skills. I always feel that I wasn't necessarily successful because I was the smartest kid on the block. I was successful because I had people skills. I used social skills to network and to build relationships, because social skills, people skills, and relationships are just as important as intellectual capabilities. In fact, sometimes you will find that the smartest person in the room is not always the most successful because the person cannot relate to people. And I felt that building blocks to my success was I was able to create relationships and network and a bond of support with people who wanted to help me succeed. And that was key, I believe, to my ability to move up the ladder. I also feel that you have 60 seconds to make a first impression, a first good impression. How do you speak? How do you present yourself? How do you appear? These are all traits that personify who you are. And I would say the most important thing that I tell so many young generation of upcoming professionals who want to follow the path of breaking glass ceilings is that you need to believe in yourself. Because if you don't have a firm, strong belief in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you? In conclusion, we are facing some challenging times. It's times where you, the new generation of leaders, need to capture, and you have that opportunity to deal with the systemic racism that currently is hurting our society. You, as Asian Americans, can be a leader in forming cross-coalition relationships with others so that there's a mutual understanding who we are to one another and to each different ethnic group. And that's what leadership is all about. Leadership is something that you grow within yourself, and leadership is something where you help others grow